So we're going to look at how to solo Grandmaster a Garden World. The only required mods I would say is 2 concussive dampeners, 2 minor resists, 1 major resist, and overload grenades on your chest. Also, you want to use the 6 Coyote exotic armor to give yourself 2 dodge charges, and you want to use Bottom Tree Night Stalker. In this run, I use a 7th Seraph SMG with global reach as well, which is helpful but not a requirement. And I use Anarchy, which is also helpful but not a requirement. And my sniper I basically don't use, except to damage the boss a bit. Again, use whatever is comfortable there. So, right here, make sure you get new objective on the top left of your screen. You're going invisible and you're dodging to recharge your melee, basically, is what we're doing for this whole strike. You're just going to run through the infinite forest. It'll be different every time, but these Cyclopses are the most dangerous part of the forest. You want to keep breaking line of sight and going invisible as much as possible, and don't stay around where you go invisible because they'll keep shooting where they last saw you. Now I made a mistake here. I want to make sure I get my melee ability back, so I'm going to use my dodges there, and I'm going to open the door and proceed. So the enemies aren't particularly dangerous, but they still can kill you. It's just always safer to be invisible. You'll see here that I do get tagged by one of those tracer shanks and almost die immediately. So it's just very dangerous. Even a single ad is very dangerous. Just making sure you're near enemies when you dodge so you get your melee ability back, which this whole strike revolves around having that invisibility as much as possible. If you want high mobility, the higher mobility you have, the more dodges you get. Basically the cooldown is faster. So you want to go for high mobility. So you want to keep an eye on the Cyclopses and where they're shooting, because they can attack the other enemies that aren't vexed in the infinite forest, and if you're just in the crossfire you could get unlucky. So right there I waited for my dodge to come back, so you see they're still shooting even though they don't see me. Now they're going to be looking at my last known location. See, they both turn looking at my last known location, and I come out and they'll shoot at me, but I'm already past, so we're okay. So right there, if you're between the Cyclopses, when your invisibility is about to run out, you can keep going and they'll most likely miss you, but I just wanted to be safe there and I went invisible again and waited for my dodge to come back and dodged again. You can take a breather once you're here. This is one of the few spots you can take a breather, but anyways, we're going to press on.
Welcome to the past. Your personal
And you're going to go invisible, dodge on the left, and run to the right. So you want to keep an eye always on your vanish and smoke timer on the left side of your screen as well. Heart of the Pack is nice, but you don't need it for anything. It'll recharge your abilities a little bit faster, but you're usually okay. Anyways, go invisible when those enemies spawn and get your charge back and run straight for the launcher. You can, if you want to play safe, go invisible again, and then you can also, if you want to play safe, hide on the left side here where that wall is that now goes away. But again, you could also just go fast, go invisible there. You can take a breather here if you hide behind a rock and don't let those harpies shoot at you. But we're going to run down to the left here. And we're just going to keep on going. Alright, so now I'm going to dodge, get my invisibility back, and I'm going to take note of the Hydra, and I'm going to run exactly perpendicular so that I don't die. It will kill you a lot if you don't run exactly perpendicular, and it sometimes will even if you do. The spawns are a little weird with where it goes. But anyways, break this, wait for the barrier to go away. Shoot, throw your grenade, Anarchy twice, go invisible again. Your grenade will give you back your melee ability, so I don't even need to dodge here. I'm just running. Don't look back to see if that Minotaur is following you, because it is. Wait till it says that you killed it on the screen right there and you get the points, and just hide behind the portal, then break that. Then go invisible again, and use the enemies to get your melee back. Now in this next room, if you want to be risky, you can push into it a bit before going invisible, but it's just safer to go like this because the hobgoblins, most of them can one-shot you with their snipers. You're just going to run and go hard left and jump up as fast as you can to make sure they don't shoot you. You're going to want to use your overload grenade now. Make sure you overload that Minotaur. Dodge next to them. I don't even think I needed to dodge next to them because my grenade was going to give me my ability back. So right here, I assume it is going to, but then I keep an eye on it just to make sure, and then I dodge again because I see that my grenade is not going to give it back. So you want to make sure that you're actually going to get it back when you do rely on your grenade to give it back to you. So, if you're wondering how you get your melee back from your grenade. It's part of your bottom tree Night Stalker's tree. It's one of his abilities, one of your Night Stalker's abilities that gives you your melee energy back for grenade damage. But anyways, we're gonna go invisible there, and we're gonna fall back. And once we put our shots on the Minotaur, I'm gonna use my SMG here to make sure that the Minotaur dies, which is good. Now I'm gonna wait until I just pop around this corner to go invisible, so that the Minotaurs see me. That way they'll start pushing my last one location, so I can dodge with them right there, and then I can go invisible here. Those hobgoblins, if they shoot at the same time and hit you, you're dead. So be very careful and make sure you try to have some cover on them. So next we're just gonna break that box from safety, and then once that wall goes away, we're gonna jump up and we can look at a little celebratory fireworks show that they give you. They're not gonna hit you, so don't worry. Now you can take one last breather here. Before we get to the boss. So we have one more set of ads, one more Minotaur. I would say this is the easiest Minotaur, but also don't get complacent on it. You want to keep pushing. Speed here is your friend. The faster you go, the further you can get while invisible. Very important. So I go invisible here, and I just run, and I use them for my dodge, and I'm going to run into this left corner. If you don't, these champions will most likely kill you. You want to go invisible right there. And you're going to want to dodge and get straight up. This launcher can kill you. I don't know how to avoid getting killed by it, but it will happen sometimes. It's very annoying. You can run over that, or you can run to the left, up to you. But you want to be quick, and you want to get, before your invisibility goes away, you want to get there and start breaking it, and then you want to go invisible again and dodge away before they start shooting you. You might go red there, but it should be okay. So next I'm going to throw my grenade, and I'm going to just anarchy him, and I'm going to make sure I get the damage numbers. The wall messes up your vision a bit, so it might take you a couple of runs to get used to that, but it does mess with your vision, so you just make sure you hit them and you're getting damage numbers to tick. Next I'm going to break that box, go invisible one last time. I'm going to dodge right away, and I'm going to jump straight up, and I'm going to go right for the launcher while I go uninvisible, and I'm going to just hope they don't hit me, which they don't. You can usually, by the time you go not invisible there, usually you're close enough that you won't get killed. I haven't gotten killed that way. So I'm going to decide my strategy here. I'm going to use the right side, I decide. So what you want to do here is you want to get inside the Minotaur's shield. I'm going to emote here to check to make sure I'm all the way in. You want to be all the way in, but as far back as possible. This is going to prevent the enemies from shooting at you, including the boss, which is very nice. The only thing you will have to worry about is headless enemies, including the headless Minotaurs when they spawn. And I will go over how to deal with them when we get there. So this is where your Warmind cells are going to come in as well, dealing with all these ads. And having global reach makes their range just absolutely insane. So I'm just doing damage here, right? Getting him to move. You'll see he's not even shooting at me. I got about a third of his health down. Easy to do as well. So I'm going to start shooting goblins. I start with the far right just to make sure they don't come all the way around and start shooting me, because that is possible. So again, if they lose their heads, there's a chance that they start shooting at you. And they might come up and try to punch you, which one does to me eventually. You'll see they start rushing you, but nothing doing there. So be careful when... So this one I kind of let get away. I let him run around the corner, and I shouldn't have, and he almost kills me here. You'll see he charges me and melees me. So if they both came up and meleeed me there, I'd be dead, but luckily they didn't. So I'm just going to keep working on these ads, and I'm going to try to get a Warmind cell, is what I'm trying to do. The Warmind cell is not even necessary, but it's just helpful. You'll see I get it off of this one. And with global reach, you'll see the range is so long that I can actually break the tether box from all the way over here. Now, if you don't break the tether box with a Warmind cell, you can go invisible and break it. It's just a little more dangerous. Make sure, though, when you go invisible, that you turn around so that you don't end up just punching this Minotaur instead. So I'm going to finish off these goblins and hobgoblins just to make myself extra safe, because I still have to break that other tether box over there. I could use another Warmind cell if I got lucky, but I don't want to even if I get one. I'll explain why right now. So, I'm going to be going invisible again. You can use the Minotaur that you're hiding behind as an enemy to get your melee charge back. So I'm going to dodge here, I'm going to break the box, and I'm going to run away as fast as I can. You'll see I take a little bit of damage here, nothing too major though. So what you want to do to make sure that the Minotaur does not run up and stomp you, is you want to jump over this portal. There's no reason why, but it just slows down their pathing just enough. You want to jump on top of or over that portal. It just messes up their pathing just enough to where they won't stomp you. But once you make sure that you're not going to get stomped, you can just damage the boss. The boss will stay there if you don't kill the Minotaur. You'll see I make sure he doesn't come up to stomp me, and he just stops there. So at this point, you're done, basically. So you're just taking your time, damaging enemies. Don't worry about your ammo at all. If you run out of all your ammo, the game will give you ammo back after a period of time of you just waiting, which is really nice. But yeah, just don't worry about running out of ammo and thinking about having to run out and go for it. You will not have to. And if you do that, if you do run out for ammo, it is to your detriment. So it's just safer to just let your ammo regenerate if you need it. And you can try throwing grenades in here, but I try here and it's I'm unsuccessful. So I don't recommend throwing grenades in here. You'll see I do it up soon. After this mag of SMG, I believe. Alright, so just, yeah, whittling him down very slowly. It doesn't take very long, so I'll try my grenade here. It doesn't work, so whatever. That's okay. And the boss is dead. So again, I'll go over the mods and that I used, but I wouldn't require any of them. So besides overload grenades, honestly, overload grenades are the only thing that I would say is a requirement just for safety. It's honestly, you could do without any of these mods, but I'm just showing you what I used. I purposely didn't use something that was like particularly optimal so that anyone could do it really. Anarchy's probably the best if you have it, but if you want to use a different heavy, feel free. I wouldn't even hard set a requirement on the Anarchy. Whatever you're comfortable killing those Minotaurs quickly with is the best bet. If you want to use like an Izanagi or even maybe 1,000 Voices, I haven't tried those, but you never know. If you're going to use a rocket launcher though, I would not use it when you're inside the Minotaur shield. So you'll see my perks for those guns were not even optimal for this. You'll see my 2 concussive dampeners, my 2 minor resist, and my 1 major resist, and my overload grenades. None of the other perks are really important. I just have an increased mobility mod so that I make sure I have a high mobility. But yeah, that is how you complete a run of Grandmaster Garden World. Thank you for watching.